This is the rise of a new demon sovereign. Come Ciel, let us show them the meaning of true terror. With this power, we will never lose. What's up everyone, this is First7G, and for today's lore video today, we're actually be going over Catastrophe, one of the 3 classes that LuCiel can be able to choose whenever when you decide to pick her class. And before we actually start this video, I'd like to give a shout out to Sen Akari for allowing me to play his account in order to get these gameplays for you guys. And although the class itself is not Catastrophe themselves, however, these gameplay clips would do as I would actually carry on to another video that would actually involve playing that particular class that the gameplay shows. And also, I'd like to give a shout out to Socon04 for providing this artwork of Dreadlord and Chiliarch. And you can actually see the artwork right here actually promotes them on how close are they right now. And if you actually want the link to this fan art, a link down to the artwork themselves will actually be provided in the description. And for now, let's start talking about the lore of Catastrophe. We're already from fighting off demon assassins non-stop with Ciel. Lu recalls her ability to induce fear in her enemies from the time when she used to lead a demon army. With practice, it's only a matter of time before she regains full control of this terror energy. The dishonored demon princess now leads this tag team as Chiliarch, the ultimate terror reincarnate, annihilating every obstacle in their path. Don't look back, let abysmal terror consume you. In this first path that Lu can actually take, she actually feels the burden of Ciel constantly fighting off demon assassins that try to hurt her most of the time, and Ciel, as her bodyguard, is constantly fighting off these assassins in order to keep her safe. And in this job path, as explained from the background, Lu recalls to the time that when she was actual demon queen herself, she's able to grant access to summoning demons and at the same time inducing fear into her opponents in order to weaken them, and this all led up to her becoming Chiliarch, commander of 1,000, translated in Greek. And the whole entire concept of giving fear and summoning demons is actually reflected on her skills and actually her buff that she got for herself. For example, of her passive, Force of Fear, increases critical damage and allows command/actives to apply bursts of terror when creeping terror stacks are maxed. The creeping terror debuff lowers attack power. Burst terror is triggered by special actives or terror chain for additional damage, and also improves certain skills. And her bravery skill called Apollon summons a large demon to clutch then strike the enemy. If there are already enemies with the creeping terror debuff inflicted, it will absorb the debuff and summon a larger and much more powerful demon. A 50% chance to summon a shadow demon that would ignore the enemy's defense and attack. As you can see, majority of her skills does involve around her lore in terms of summoning demons and inflicting fear to her opponents. And as you can see, some of these gameplays that I actually recorded in the past, you can probably see how scared she was when she was first introduced, and I will let the clip do the talking for me just to see how scared she was before. And now we can actually jump into what happened to Ciel as the second class called Dreadlord, and this got to the point that Ciel is slowly transforming into a demon that he actually make a pact with Lu, and at the same time he's actually overcoming human limitations that he had before when he was human, and at the same time given the opportunity to show his assassination skills when he was much more younger. As Lu acquired control over terror, she and Ciel summoned the ultimate demonic power. With it, Ciel's evolution into a demon advances. Bit by bit, like his master, Ciel himself becomes a lord of terror. While his criminal instinct kicks in, all he has ever known as assassin is put to use, so that he may better protect his dearest Lu. To protect Lu, I must go back to the days when I was sharp as a blade. With the constant power that he's receiving from Lu when she was Chiliarch, this actually led to the point that Ciel's actually becoming a demon, and this is reflected by his hair color, as majority of his hair turned white, but only a sip of blue hair, which he actually remains when he was human. And now we can actually advance to the very last class that this job path has to offer for them. In this case, it's going to be Catastrophe. As their individual name, Lu will actually represent Timoria, while Ciel, on the other hand, will represent Abyssal. With overwhelming power and teamwork, Lu and Ciel annihilate all the forces in the blink of an eye. Lu and Ciel's demonic power becomes stronger by accepting the power given by the demon god of terror. Together, we can become stronger. After fighting against stronger enemies despite Lu's hesitation, Ciel has finally persuaded her to leave her human side behind to be reborn as a fully fledged demon. Now they are no longer tied by contract, but exist as equal beings, as the demon rulers of the abyss. For Catastrophe, all this power they actually received was actually a result of accepting the powers been given by the demon of terror. And for Lu's Timoria class, it's actually another Greek term which means for punishment. As Catastrophe as a whole, you can actually look at the design and inspired by military officers, which actually reflects by Lu's previous class of Chiliarch, showing Catastrophe this time around is able to control even more demons than as they did before. For Ciel, in this case in the lore, he was rarely deciding to give up the remaining piece of humanity that he has himself in order to become a fully fledged demon that he is right now, and this actually reflected by his hair color, losing that single strand of blue hair that he had when he was human in order to become a fully fledged demon. But he doesn't actually grow any horns because he actually has complete control of these demonic powers as compared to his unusual class of the Dread Path, and constantly receiving demonic powers from Lu, who actually keeps giving him so much to the point that he's forced to turn into a demon. And that actually sums up the lore story of Catastrophe. This particular class doesn't have that much lore story or a deeper meaning as compared to the other classes I've covered before, but this video is for those who actually are curious on terms of how the classes developed to the point that we have today. If you want any other classes lore to be covered in another video, you can actually throw down a comment down below, and actually we'll decide if I actually want to cover that particular class for that week or not. And if you find this video useful, you can throw down a like, share this lore video to any of your friends that actually want to understand Catastrophe as a whole, or any other lore video that I actually created before. That sums up for the video today, and I hope you guys have a nice day today.